Hello, and welcome to the 12th and a half session of the Glen Collection 125. My name is Ronnie Gibson. I'm a scholar performer of Scots fiddle music based in Aberdeen, Scotland. And we're just carrying on from yesterday, really, when the 12th session got cut short due to technical problems. Anyway, we're going to workshop the second set, which is set 95. The Strathspey Miss Barbara Cunningham and the real Miss Catherine Chalmers. Now, if you want to take part, you can go to glencollection125.wordpress.com and download the free sheet music. Just follow the link to this session and you'll get the tunes. It's set 95 and we'll start with Miss Barbara Cunningham. Now, it's a rather annotated version. I thought you might find it helpful to have some pointers on which part of the bow to play from. But ignore that for just now. We'll give it a read. We'll play without ornamentation and as equal quavers. So I'll demonstrate the speed. Okay, 3 and 4. The only thing to point out when we're playing it like this is the tied D at the end of the second bar. So it's line 1, bar 2, note 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Notes 7 and 8, when we're playing it like this, are just tied. So don't worry about trying to re-emphasize it. Right, once more. 3 and 4. If we look at this tied D again in bar 2, instead of playing it like that when it's as printed, we change it into a unison. So if we look at that bar, it's conventional at the start, and then we get to halfway through, and it goes like this. So note 8, the dotted quaver D with 0/4 above it, is the unison. So we're on the open string before, and then we play it with the high 3 on the G, and then we put the 4 down. So let's just try that from line 1, bar 2, beat 3, the third crotchet beat in the bar. It's the semiquaver F sharp. D da rum, D and 4. 3, 4. Once more, and that's the idea. Now, the real guts of this piece is in the bow. So let's just take it bar at a time. Over the pickup at the very start, UH stands for upper half. So that's this top half of the bow that you want to be working in. The first note, I've added a little rest after it because you'll see that you've got a big jump to make from the low G to the high G. So you just sort of take a little breath. You don't need to sustain the note. And then above the second note in the first bar, PT, point. You want to be right up here. So the first couple of notes with a breath after the first notes. Let's just try that. 3 and 4. So you're going up, down, da-da-dum. There's no rush. 3, 4. And again. 3 and 4. Now you want to try and stay around the point. You'll travel up a little inevitably, but stay around the point until the end of the bar, the last note of the first bar, is annotated W, B, whole bow. And that's you down at the heel on that last note. Watch again, then we'll try it together. You see how you travel on the last note. Let's try. 3, 3 and 4. And again. 2, 3, 4. So you're having to really constrain the middle of the bar so that you're not traveling too far up. Try and go in, use depth into the string rather than breadth, using more bow. Right, once more. 3 and 4. That takes us to the second bar. Again, WB, whole bow. And then we're at the heel, so we're doing a yum-ba-lum, taking us to the tip. Then we'll have a little agitation in the middle, dee-da-da, and then we're at this unison, another whole bow. So we're doing dee-ram, da-dee-da-ram. Watch, and then we'll try together. Okay, let's give it a try. 2, 3, 4. And again. So I'll just bow it out in air. Down, up, down, up, down. And another whole bow at the start of bar 3. From bar 2, 3, 4. And again. Once more. If you're not used to playing right to the tip or right to the heel, the key is in the elbow, the right arm elbow, so that you can bring it up and then it's down. It's easier to get to the tip, but be aware that there are these bottom couple of inches and the top couple of inches that are so oftentimes, just collateral damage. Oh, well, I'm playing more or less at the tip. Oh, yeah, I'm more or less at the heel. This is where the really interesting stuff happens. And if you can utilize the whole bow just by getting the elbow and then the whole upper arm in on the activity, it'll help. Right. Bar 3 is more or less as bar 1. With the exception of no whole bow at the end of bar 3. And then we're just in the upper half. Let's try from bar 3 to the end of the line. 3, 4. And again. So again, you start at the point from the second note in bar 3. Try not to travel too far up the bow. Go into the string rather than using breadth of bow. Right, once more from bar 3, 4. So I stayed above the midpoint for most of that, apart from the whole bow at the start. Right. Since we're doing this forensically, let's just quickly play from the beginning again with all that in place. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I don't know what's wrong with me tonight. Fingers aren't doing what I'm telling them. Here we go. 3 and 4. There we go. Something like that, anyway. Right, let's move on to the second line and go back to what we were doing before. Equal quavers, no ornaments. These I deliberately didn't put too many ornaments in here, just so we could focus on the bowing. Just to point out again, in line 2, bar 2, we've got that repeated A in the middle of the bar. Just play that as a tie just now. It's another unison. We'll look at it briefly once we've had it placed. Right. 2, 3, and 4. Let's just try that again from line 2, 3, and 4. Right, let's just quickly recap the unison then. So line 2, bar 2, from note 5, the high A. So the first two notes are conventional. 3, open. And then on the D, you're playing 3, 4. And this is fiddle players, obviously. 3, open, 3, 4. But as you're playing the 3, 4, you're also ringing the open A above. Let's try that. 3, 1, and 2. And. Again. Once more. Right. So that's the notes. If we come to look at the rhythm, this is one of these strathspeys where it's long lines of snaps. Snaps are when the semiquaver comes first and then the dotted quaver. Yadum, dadum, dadum. The great thing about Glen is that when he was transcribing the old tunes, he had a very light editorial touch. He transcribed them exactly as they appeared in the original publications from the late 18th century. What you find in other 19th century anthologies is that the editors update the tunes, and oftentimes they change the rhythm to make it what they would argue is they're giving it a bit more flow, and that this constant stream of snaps is a bit anachronistic. But it takes a bit of patience and a bit of persistence, but you can make something of it. And it's the reason why in this tune I've included the annotations for the bow use, because it's quite critical, really. So in this, from line 2, the first bar and a half is all start at the point, try and stay at the point, but you will travel up the bow. Have a look, and then we'll try together. And then on that unison, the whole bow in bar 2. I'll play it once more. Let's give it a try. 2, 3, and 4. Now, the trick is to make the emphasis, put the emphasis on the semiquaver. Ta-dum, ti-dum, ta-dum. So although in a literal sense, when you're bowing out this rhythm, you'll be going a small bow for the semiquaver and a longer bow for the dotted quaver, small, long, small, long. You'd quickly run out of bow. Because you're doing a really emphatic short note, semiquaver, you more or less stay in the same place. Ya-dum, dee-dum, dee-dum, dee-dum. Because you're doing a jerk of a down and then a glide of an up. Right, let's try it again. Line 2, and this time we'll play to the start of to the start of bar 3. You have to do a whole bow on that semiquaver B. Ready? From the start of line 2. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So yeah, that's where you have to work your hardest. A whole bow, a big jerk of a stroke. Back up to the point. Ready? Once again, from the start of line 2. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We went on a little there. The only thing to point out, well, a couple of things. Bar 3 is bar 1 in line 2. And then when we get to bar 4 at the end of line 2, we've got another couple of whole bows. Yada dee-da, yada dee-da dum. Let's just try line 2, bar 4. So we're at the upper half anyway. Let's not say quite the point by this time. Yada dee-da dum, 3, 4. I'm not with today at all. Let's try again. 3, 4. And you've got to caress these whole bows. Have a listen. They're broader, they're more expansive. And if you get the elbow in, you'll have all the help you need. Bar 4 again, line 2, bar 4, 3, 4. And that's the idea. Let's try the whole of line 2. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That takes us on to line 3. Now the notes change slightly, but the rhythm's the same, and the bowing is more or less the same. Let's just try playing from line 3 at the point again. 2, 3, 4. The one thing that is different is in line 3, bar 2, the last note of bar 2 is, the last two notes of bar 2 are the dotted quaver, semiquaver, whereas in the line above, that whole second half of the bar, the rhythm's slightly different. So from line 3, bar 2, have a listen, then we'll play together. Yadum dum dim dum buddy. From the start of line 3 again. 3, 4. Let's try 3, 4. That's the Strathspey. It's a bit of a study, but hopefully worth it. I think it's what's required to play it as notated. You could obviously do what 19th century editors did and change the rhythm, but it's interesting. It's an interesting little avenue to go down. Right, the reel. It's a reel of Nathaniel Gow's. Nathaniel Gow was the son of Neil Gow. Neil Gow was the so-called father of Scottish fiddle music, so a strong genealogy. Let's just start at the beginning and take it nice and slow. 2, 3, 4. The two semi-quaver and quaver rhythm is always quick, like a rocket. Trum dee trum dee. You're tearing the bow across the string there. That's at the start of each line, 1 and 2. In bar 2, we've got this little ornament halfway through the bar. It's a ornament G, ornamenting the F sharp crotchet. And in effect, this sort of rhythm really just turns the ornamented note, the small G, into a semi-quaver, and the crotchet becomes a dotted quaver. From bar 2, have a listen, then we'll try. Okay, line bar 2, 3, 4. And again. An interesting thing is that the emphasis comes on the G, on the little ornamented note. Once more. Bar 2, 3, 4. That's it. Okay, let's give the first measure a run again. So Miss Catherine Chalmers from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just another couple of things. I find myself in bar 1 playing the E not as an open, but as a 4. That's partly because my E string's been on for a long time, and when I try and play it as an open, it tends to ring. It didn't do it that time, typical, but it's just a bit neater if you stick a 4 there, and it's the same in the line below. The other thing is that bar 3 is probably best executed around the middle of the bow because you've got a lot of string crossing. And you've got the most leverage at the middle. And again, that's the same in line 2 as well. So let's just play it once more. On the top of the reel, Miss Catherine Chalmers, 3, 4. There we go. Now, second measure. It's lovely. It starts on the chord of E minor. We're in G major. It's the relative minor. Super. Right. Line 3 of Miss Catherine Chalmers. 3 and 4. Delightful. It's inspired by Corelli. Really, it is. So we've got the high third finger in line 3, bar 1 for that D sharp, nice and high. If you bring your thumb in and just slide it up the neck ever so slightly, it'll help you with that stretch. Wrist back, thumb up. Use the last quaver of each bar as an upbeat. Yum ba dee dee da ba dum bum ba da dee dee da da dum bum ba da dum bum be da 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 da. Use the last quaver of each bar as an upbeat, so it gets lots of lift. And then in line 3, bar 3, we've got that dotted rhythm. Tum ba tum. You really just got to rejoice. Tee ta tum tum tum, and emphasize the semiquaver. Tee ta tum tum tum. It'll give the performance lots of energy. At the start of line 4, we've got a little ornamented note, but it really just, the effect is to make it a group of 4 quavers. Yaddle deedle dum. It's not dum baddle dum. It's just, if you make the ornamented note at the start of line 4, a semiquaver, and then the quaver D becomes a semiquaver, and that's all that's about. Now, in line 4, bar 2, we've got a staccato dot under the quaver A in the middle of the bar, and then 3 quavers slurred together to end the bar. What you want to do is de-emphasize the staccato note and then emphasize the first of the slurred notes. Let's try that. So we're in line 4, bar 2. I'll slow it down, I'll play the speed, and then we'll try it together. Ready, 3, 4. And again. Once again, and. There we go, and there's a little ornament you can tuck in there if you wish. Okay, with the ornament, 3, 4. And then in line 4, bar 3, we've got the slurred quavers and then the staccato quavers. And for the staccato, you want little sort of semicircle bow strokes. And make sure you get back on the string for the slurred, the start of the slurred note. Okay, let's try the second measure again, and then we'll give the whole set a run. So this is Miss Catherine Chalmers, line 3. Yeah, yeah. 3 and 4. Delightful. Okay, set 95 at a moderate tempo. Miss Barbara Cunningham by Robert McIntosh and Miss Catherine Chalmers by Nathaniel Gow. 1, 1, 2, 3, and 4. What do you think? How do you get on? Good stuff, huh? Right, just a bit quicker. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Easy as that. Thanks for taking part. Look forward to seeing you at the next Glen session on Thursday. Until then, take care and keep playing.